pardon my casual dress. I got back from a run. I was building a list, and I've been working on something that I think is a pretty interesting way to think about how much you want to invest in getting prospect data. So I've got Clay pulled up here, and I just have a little example based on the work I was doing for a campaign that I was running for a client. When you take a traditional single data provider approach, you just pay whatever it costs to get the data, and whatever data they have, and that's it. However, when you're using a tool like Clay, or when you're using multiple different providers, you have a different decision to make, which is how much do I want to pay at any given time? And is there a price that I don't want to pay, and why? So here, basically, I'm going to show you where we can basically pay more for data as we feel like a prospect is more valuable, but pay less when we feel like the prospect is potentially worth less, lower deal value, lower deal size. I've got a list of 3 just random e-commerce companies that are all running Shopify, Arizona BioClarity, Chef's Cut Real Jerky Company. Now, I'm not going to show actual email addresses or phone numbers or anything like that. This is just publicly available information of the executives at these companies. I've got the company LinkedIn page, the employee count, and then I'm searching LinkedIn to find people at these companies. So I started with the domain, find the people. Now I need contact information for them in case I want to contact them in addition to LinkedIn. Maybe I want to send them an email, or maybe even give them a call, get a mobile number. So I was able to find email addresses for 2 of them using Clay pretty easily. And then I set this requirement. Basically, I set a conditional run requirement where I said, okay, if you can't find an email address with Clay and the company has at least 10 employees, then I want to use this additional, more expensive provider to spend more to get an email address for this contact. Now, since this company, BioClarity, doesn't meet that employee count number, I'm not running that search to get that email address. So even though technically they could fit based on the ICP, parameters, there's only so much I'm willing to pay for that contact information. Now looking at phone numbers, and this is so you're supporting a sales rep who's doing omni-channel outreach and you want to get a mobile number especially. Clay was able to get the first phone number, which is great with that default one, but they didn't get ones for the other 2. And again, what I set here is a conditional circumstance. So I'm saying, look, run if you can get the mobile number from Clay, great. But if you can't, and the company has at least 10 employees, then I want to use this more expensive provider. Now, in this case, Clay didn't have this 3rd number here for this company at the bottom, Chef's Cut Real Jerky Company, but this other provider, which is significantly more expensive, did. So the idea that I just am encouraging you to think about here, and that we've been thinking about as we build lists, is the ROI. What is the point at which it makes sense to spend more? Now, in this case, we arbitrarily said, okay, 10 employees. If a company has 10 employees or more, we're willing to pay extra. If they have fewer than 10, if we can get the data for less, then great. But if we can't, we're not going to, overpay for it, basically. And as you do segmentation, it can allow you to do different types of campaigns where you may have a part of a list where they just get email, and then another part of a list where you have email and phone, and that's the one that you're going to be maybe initiating via a sales engagement platform, and then having tasks created for sales reps to do phone and LinkedIn, other types of follow-up, maybe more manually. So I'm curious if you're doing anything like this, what you think about it, what you think about the approach. I don't have a catchy name for it, but basically it's you pay more when you think it's worth more. And this is something we've been doing increasingly to try to get better segmentation and try to get the best possible yield out of any given list that we're building. So let me know what you think.